Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is just going to be a little bit of a normal reading vlog. If you're new to my channel, you may not know, but if you've been watching some of my videos, you'll notice I'm in a different location. Although honestly, I've been in a different location, it feels like every single video that I do. So I recently started back at school, so I'm in my senior year of college, so one more year to go. And basically okay, this is really bothering me. But basically I've been doing a lot of schoolwork, like I said. And so reading has kind of not been my biggest priority, although I still have done a decent bit. I started Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I'm about 20% in, and it's a dark academia thriller fantasy kind of book. Actually, I don't think it's thriller. And basically it's about a girl named Alex who gets accepted into Yale for this very specific reason, which you'll find out pretty early on, but I think it's kind of more interesting to not know when you go into it. And basically, like I said, she gets accepted at Yale, and it's kind of just about these Yale secret societies. Apparently, it's not based on a true story, but I do know that some of the things talked about it have actually happened. Like in the, I think it's the early 1800s, some of these Yale students, medical students, literally dug up a dead body. And I don't know if they were just using it to study anatomy or doing rituals on it, but it's kind of created this lore where Yale, again, has these secret societies. We're following our main character, like I said, Alex, as she's learning about it and kind of becoming a part of them. There's a lot of creepy things that go on. I think it would be perfect to read during fall. I don't think any book has really given me more of a spooky fall dark academia vibe than this one, honestly. So if that's something that you're looking for, I definitely would say that it would fit that description. But it was a little bit hard to get into, I'm not gonna lie. I will say I was kind of on a book hangover from the 7-Year Slip, which I absolutely loved. So yeah, it was been a little bit hard to get into, but I have still been really liking it. I also picked back up on reading Morningstar, which is the third book in the Red Rising trilogy. I put it down for a little while just because it is really politics and action heavy, and it was kind of just overwhelming me with how much information we were going through. And I also just love the series so much that I didn't want it to end yet. I mean, there is still more books after it, but still I just kind of didn't want to rush through it just for the sake of rushing through it, and I really wanted to be able to enjoy it. And yeah, so that's all I've been doing in the reading department. Right now I'm actually gonna go meet a friend at a coffee shop and get some schoolwork done. So I don't know when I'll be back, but I will definitely have some more reading updates coming up soon. So I've been reading a little bit more of Morningstar, and if you've seen any of my past videos, you guys know that Red Rising is just an incredible series, and I keep saying a lot of the same things about it, but I don't really want to give you guys any spoilers about what happens because honestly, it's a little bit too hard to explain anyways. And a lot, like I said, is just spoilery and kind of would not ruin even the experience, but it's so much more intense when you go through it and all of these things come out and surprise you. But something just happened and I am really sad about it, and I don't know if it's, you know, a fixable thing or not, or, you know, but this book, this series, one thing that I both love and hate about it is that it's not necessarily a happy ending guaranteed. You lose a lot of characters that you absolutely love. I'm not gonna tell you which, obviously. It's just things come out and surprise you every single chapter. Like, there is no way getting around just how shocked you are by some of the things. And I don't know, this series just really just has such a special place in my heart because I haven't really read anything like this. Because I will say, a lot of the books that I do read are happy endings, you know, even if they're fantasy and the stakes are high, you generally have a pretty good idea that most of your characters don't actually die. But that is not the case in this book, and that is one of the things that I really liked about Game of Thrones, if any of you guys have watched that. And this book really does give me that kind of, you know, energy, and I don't know, I love it, but I hate it because it's putting me through it, and I really hope what just happened isn't actually happening because I will cry. Hey guys, so I have been so bad about updating. Honestly, I just haven't been reading as much as I normally do. I'm trying to just like enjoy my last year of college obviously, you know, have a lot of schoolwork, and then also just trying to do a lot of social stuff. I went to a football game today, which was hot as hell. Oh my god, it was literally 90 degrees and there was absolutely no shade, and they sell water for $7. And then you drink that and it's not nearly enough. So that's been my day. Although I have actually, okay, sorry, this might be a little confusing because I know I said that I'm reading Ninth House, which I'm still reading. I'm like 30, maybe 40% through, and I am liking it, but I don't know. It's not even that it's necessarily hard to get into, or it's not necessarily that it's hard to understand, but I don't know. I don't really find myself super into it. I don't necessarily know if dark academia is for me, which I don't know why, because I feel like I absolutely love the vibes of it, but there's something about it that maybe just hasn't clicked. I mean, I've only read this and The Secret History, which I did like, but it wasn't my absolute favorite. To kind of give myself a little break just from that, and then also I've been just listening to Crescent City, the audiobook for the House of Earth and Blood. So I either want to say that for when I'm, you know, working out, scootering, driving, just so I have something to, you know, occupy my time while I'm doing all that stuff. But another physical book that I've been really excited to read is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I did read The 7-Year Slip and I absolutely loved it. So far, I'm really liking this one too. I mean, something about her writing is just really easy to get into, which is kind of, like I said, what I've been really needing. I'm like 27 pages in, but our main character, Florence, is basically a ghostwriter for this really famous romance author. So basically she is a romance writer, and I don't know exactly how long ago, maybe it's been a year or so, she had a really bad breakup. The guy, I guess, treated her terribly, something like that. I'm not really totally sure, haven't gotten super far into it. But, so like I said, she's a ghostwriter, and she just met her new editor, and apparently he's really hot. Obviously, she's super attracted to him. That's the main male character in all romance novels. So, but what we found out pretty early on is that she and then her father, who owns a funeral home, oh my god, not a home, but like a funeral place thing, I don't know what it's called, but he owns that, and then both he and his daughter can see and talk to ghosts. So I guess that's how this whole dead, you know, romantics comes into play. So far, I believe the editor is alive, so I'm wondering if that means he's going to die during the course of this book. I'm not sure, and I'm not going to say if that does happen or not, but either way, we do know that at some point he is dead because she's talking to his ghost, so I'm assuming that means he's going to die, but I don't know how. But yeah, so far I'm liking this, and I like her writing. I just need some light, fluffy little romance, even though I don't know how light and fluffy it really is going to be, but I just need a, you know, an easy to get through romance, and I've been liking this a lot so far. And yeah, we'll come back with another update. I have no idea when that's gonna be, because like I said, I've just been kind of doing a lot. I mean, I really do want to make time for reading, but obviously when you only have a certain amount of time to be able to do stuff, I'm trying to be social, you know, while I have all this limited time. But yeah, anyways, I'll come back to you guys all later. Okay, so I just finished The Dead Romantics, and I will say it did get a little bit slow kind of in the middle, but it ended so perfectly. I have to say, I think Ashley Poston is going to be probably one of my new auto-buy authors. I absolutely love The 7-Year Slip, and while this one wasn't quite as good, my gosh, she just has such a way of like making the ending super full circle for the characters, but also just the story in general. I've heard people say that it's more women's like fiction or more lit fic than just a simple romance, and while I don't fully agree, I do definitely agree that it does feel very therapeutic. Not only are these characters having a really endearing romance between each other, but also both of them are just healing, and it's honestly just like therapeutic for them basically. And in that sense, it also becomes therapeutic for the reader. I really just have no words for how much I love that ending. It just felt so perfect, and I don't know what I want to rate it. Probably like a 4.25, maybe a 4.5. I don't know, just if I'm in that, you know, post-reading high where the ending was so perfect, but I really love that so much, and that's all I can say. I would definitely recommend it, and yeah, She did it again. That was so good. And there's no third act breakup, which also just makes the book even better. Yeah, I definitely didn't expect it to end it the way it did, but it was absolutely perfect. I couldn't have asked for anything more, and I loved it. Hey guys, again, sorry for how all over the place this video has been. Normally, I mean, I don't know, there is no normal for me, but hopefully it won't be this all over the place in future reading vlogs. I don't even know how long I've been filming this or when I even started it, but I think I'm just going to continue it until I finish some of the books that I'm currently reading, which, like I said, I did finish The Dead Romantics last night. Absolutely loved that. Not quite as much as The 7-Year Slip, but I do really recommend it. I will say there are huge themes of grief, so if you don't really want to read about that, and obviously death, obviously that's a big part of this book, so I would skip it if you don't want to get into all that, but otherwise I definitely would recommend. I do think it would be a great to read during this month. Like I said, again, I still am kind of torn between a 4 and a 4.25. I don't know, but you know, somewhere in that range. Definitely really good, definitely really enjoyed it. Was it the absolute best book I've ever read? No, but again, still had a really good time reading it. And then, like I said, also, I have been listening to the Crescent City House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I am about like 50% through, not totally sure. It was a little bit hard to understand and get into very early on, but I think I kind of got over that pretty quickly. Again, though, I have already read all of Throne of Glass and all of ACOTAR, and I am a general fantasy reader, so once you get that exposure, it does get a little bit easier to get into the world. I really like the characters. There's a lot of good dynamics between everybody. There's a mystery that we're trying to solve. I still don't really know too much about where that's gonna go, but I've been having a good time reading it, and yeah, that's really all I can say about it for now. I'm not a huge audiobook person, but I have been really liking listening to them while I'm, you know, at the gym or going back and forth between class or my house and stuff like that. So it's taking me a little bit longer than normal, but I am still really liking it. And then last night I got it a little bit more into Ninth House. I can't remember if I said this before, but it was a little bit hard for me to get into in the beginning. It is a fantasy, but I don't think it's typically what I would consider usually a fantasy. It's more of an urban fantasy. It's taking place at modern day. It's taking place at Yale, so you're in an academic setting, but our main character Alex is really starting to grow on me. I think she's kind of funny and just an entertaining character to see throughout this. I've seen this as a theme with The Secret History as well, where the main character is kind of just the average person, where even though she has something special about her, you're kind of seeing her view this world as maybe you would view this world, where it's kind of crazy, she's shocked, she doesn't really know what's going on, she's having to learn all the different parts and the elements as she goes, like we will, or like we do. So I do like that aspect. Again, still not totally sure what's going on. We are going back and forth between two different time periods, and you find out that something's happened to one of the characters, and so I think we're leading to that, but also trying to solve a mystery at the same time, and I don't think they're connected. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, who really knows. But yeah, that's really about it. Don't know what else to say. And yeah, so I'm gonna go to the gym right now, listen to a little bit more of Crescent City, do what I call some productive procrastination, because I don't really feel like studying right now, but at least I can listen to my audiobook and work out at the same time. I don't really think I will update too much more on Crescent City, just because it's not confusing necessarily, but there's just so many characters and so much going on, and you do kind of have to go through the world building in the beginning to understand a lot of it, and I personally could not explain that if I tried, nor do I think it's really necessary. Okay, hey guys, so I think about 70, maybe more percent into Ninth House now. It's definitely growing on me a lot. The action and just the plot, it's picking up so much more. After the 50% mark, it's just like way more than you get in the first half. I mean, it's not bad in the first half, but it was more of a 3-star, and now it's definitely getting a little bit more into the 4-star range, which is obviously good. And yeah, definitely, like I said before, main character is hilarious. She's really unhinged, and it's very entertaining. And then also almost done with Crescent City, which again, really enjoying, and not too much to say about it. There's just a lot going on, but it is wrapping up decently nicely, and I definitely want to get into the second book pretty soon. I am about to go on a flight soon, so that's gonna wrap up this video. I'm gonna start a new video soon. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys liked this video. Sorry it was, again, really all over the place. I don't even know how long I've been filming. I think maybe about 2 weeks. I don't even really know. But yeah, so that'll be it from me, and I will see you guys all in the next one.